All right. Here's the scenario. And this is something that I've wondered about, and now there's people claiming and rumbling that there's all this trouble that Pedro himself may leave the Mandalorian. Now, before all this Gina stuff happened, remember the rumors was that there were problems on the set, and it kept being leaked and kept happening, and one wonders if there was any truth to it or not. And perhaps there was. And that, they worked it out or whatever, and that there's a lot of scenes which could have been anybody in the suit, and more than likely probably was someone else, and that he could just do voice work, and it was just that it got so bad that it got physical, and that he was asked to leave the set or something like that. So maybe that did happen, So now this is Cosmic Book News reporting on claims by Grace Randolph. Yeah, I know. But it's like everybody on YouTube. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. More times than not, it's sort of right and sort of wrong, meaning that it goes through that filter of leaks, and that there are some elements that were true, and then but it turns out to be this other thing, and that's why you kind of got it half wrong. That can happen. So there are things that this article goes into. Obviously, the double standard. Pedro, made comparisons with Nazis, for Republicans and Trump supporters and that sort of thing. But it's obvious what the double standard is. He was criticizing the right, whereas Gina's response or statement. Well, you have to assume it's saying it's criticizing the left, because the cancel culture is a creature of the left, and that's how she stated, which is a very simple statement of if you continue to dehumanize a population, it becomes easier among people over time to start treating them less than human, and that's what happened. And the Holocaust, what led up to it and everything, and how it slowly turned everybody against them. And the Nazis took advantage of that. And that was it. But, they were looking for any excuse to fire her, apparently. And so they decided to just make believe that she said something she didn't. And they were saying, it was like suggesting it was, anti-Semitic or what have you. When it was. But anyway, all right, I already had that. And so the mystery here is like the articles about Pedro and Gina were pretty consecutive, pretty close to one another, and saying, hey, is there something here about this? And because these leaks and releases are almost always, and not almost, they are always there to manipulate the public and the press as well for whatever agenda they got going for their releases and whatnot, and to gauge the reactions and whatnot. Well, they certainly got a reaction to Gina. Look, I joined her name together. But meanwhile, Pedro's news, what was his news? Oh, well, he's going to be Joel in The Last of Us. Just watch out for that golf club, Pedro. But that's what he's going to do. Here's this other competitor of HBO, to Disney, and yet everything's fine with that. I don't know. And here he's going to be in this other big name series as the star, when he's supposed to be the star of Mandalorian. It's possible to do both, but as Randolph talks about, she thinks it's kind of odd. It doesn't usually work that way. Now, the articles and the leaking of it, and Doomcock said he heard from this that someone did it deliberately in an attempt to actually make the situation better for Gina and hopefully give her a chance here, and that it was right before the Disney's first quarter 2021 earnings call. So it's not the kind of thing I just can't imagine you would want something like that before it. You'd rather it after it, like say Monday or what have you. But that's not how it happened. So there's some shenanigans going on here, by who don't know. Now, Randolph suggests, well, look, it worked out for everybody. HBO gets their Last of Us star. Gina is going to go off with Daily Wire. And Disney, well, they have their Star Wars series. Well, no, look, Pedro, it could end up being the big winner because he's got another deal for another service, and he's good. Gina can do her own movie with Daily Wire, but Daily Wire is just now starting in the movie business. They got one movie under their belt, so but still, fan base and popularity about it, and probably some crowdfunding and whatnot, and it'll be mostly her project. So whatever profits come from it, a good chunk of it will be hers. Unlike whatever pay she would earn at Disney. So there is that. That is true, and it's her own project. Apparently, she's really going to be in charge of it. So okay, but still, they smeared her name. I mean, the statement they went out here with saying she denigrated people based on their culture and religion. That's not what she did. This is defamatory and a bit actionable, I would think. Now, would you win or not? Well, I don't know, but it is, And another problem is she got dropped by the agency that represented her. It's just really bad. So this is kind of hard to forgive, So the idea that also the article touches on with the Doomcock and all that fitting in with what Grace is talking about is that they may want to reconsider. So the original article says that she heard that Carano might get a gig with a conservative news network. So already she was hearing about it. Ben Shapiro had made the offer on his own show, and then the next day they have the announcement that she's going to do this film with Daily Wire. And so there you go. Now, the idea that they might think, oh, crap, this was too bad. And it is. All that good feeling that the Return of Luke Skywalker did. And the Mandalorian itself, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it was good. And it kept, and one of its strengths was how simple it was. And it was his cowboy in space story. And then you had the father and son story with Baby Yoda and all that. And it got more and more, and it built on it. And then, we get Luke Skywalker. And now, as the article addresses, that Grace talked about this too, is that, it's actually a good ending to the series. And maybe it was. There's all these other shows. There's Ahsoka and Boba Fett and all that's supposed to happen in Obi-Wan. But this nastiness of it just ruins everything. Had they just announced that that's it, that's the end of the story, there'll be spinoffs coming out of it. Ahsoka will get a show. You'll get Boba Fett and all that sort of stuff. That would have been a lot better. Instead, they just had to just trash this woman. It was nasty. And it was a lie. And so the other word is Carl Weathers is not happy about it either. And I think he was supposed to be in the Rangers show. So I think the Rangers show is done. Now, maybe they'll recast and all that, but that's not going to go over well. So yeah, here it goes. Oh, she can still be saved. And so maybe they will reconsider and say that this was a leak. It was not official and that sort of thing. And because no contracts have been set yet. It's supposed to be a season 3 of Mandalorian, they said, but will there be? And you still don't have people signed. So they could work out a deal, but they gotta get rid of this for her to come back. I think this statement they did, this business, no, that's got to go. And so yeah, she could do her Daily Wire film and do Cara Dune, either with Mandalorian or in the Rangers or what have you. But this was all unnecessary. Like, it would have been better to just say, yeah, that's it for Mandalorian. That's the end of the story. Luke takes Baby Yoda, and hey, maybe we'll revisit that in some other show. And so, like Ahsoka and whatnot, it could have been revisited there. Looks like she's going to be chasing after Thrawn, but then the other story is Robert Downey Jr. is not thrilled with this situation, and it's like, why would he want to get involved with people like that who are constantly stabbing each other in the back and stuff like that? It's like, nah, never mind. But apparently he was being courted to be Thrawn, which would have been this major coup and this really great story for that villain and everything with Ahsoka. But meanwhile, there's Ahsoka. That's Rosario Dawson now. And, Twitterverse doesn't like her. So, I don't know. And someone was mentioned they were mad at the girl who's supposed to take over for Black Panther, Shuri. They found out she's a Christian. Oh, no. Oh, you see, you can't. Why invest time and money and everything into something when it's just going to burn up all of a sudden in your face? You can't work like that. So none of this is good. Had they just said that they don't want to deal with this anymore and they want to end it, which would be kind of stupid because it's a very popular series, but they could have done that. They said, yeah, but we got more coming, and it's in this, it's all in the same timeline and whatnot and all that, and they might have been able to finagle that, but there's nothing good about this. It's all pretty bad. So, we'll see what happens Monday. If it changes by then maybe there's some attempt to try to fix this and make amends with Gina, and that she could come back. But I don't know, would she want to at this point? She could. But would it be somewhat limited? Would it should still be more like a supporting character rather than a star or anything like that? Whatever the Ranger's supposed to be, or she just is a supporting character for Mandalorian. Either way would be better than what they've done here. But God damn, I mean, after The Last Jedi and all that, and you finally did something that was healing the wounds and looked like it had really saved the Star Wars franchise with Luke Skywalker making the appearance in there. It was so damn good. All that was great. And then you found a way. You found a way to destroy it. Because she never said anything that was worthy of this crap. She just doesn't bend the knee to your cult. Oh, well, she's got to go. Because meanwhile, you got Pedro's stuff. Then you got the girl you had to be the host for your High Republic show. And she did a bunch of racist tweets, just flat out racist tweets. And as people saying, well, look at the past year with Black Lives Matter and everything, she could have been caught up in that and gotten upset. Yeah, okay, one or two, but it was way more than that. Way more. And I know her friends came, look, she's not really like that, and they know her, but I don't know, something about Twitter. I've been pissed off and mad, and it would have been terrible if I said things at a moment. Well, I just didn't. I don't put stuff like that on Twitter. I've retweeted articles that are damning of political people and stuff like that. They're sourced or whatever, but that's part of the argument. But to go out and just bigoted statements about a race of people, but it's fine. She can stay. And there's no announcements of Pedro being fired, although it might be that he just left on his own and that he followed HBO and would rather work there than work at Disney. And comparing the two with all this kind of crap going on, imagine what it is behind the scenes. A lot of people thinking he was being a prima donna, and maybe he was, but starting to look like he was a lot more right than not. So, such a mess. Damn, how does this keep happening? Who's in charge of the... Oh, all right. Oh, geez, you just can't seem to bring yourselves to fix that problem, huh? Man, it's an amazing thing to see such a giant franchise like Star Wars determined to commit suicide, apparently. You had this great comeback, and you threw it away. Well, as always, we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness. So many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.